All right, guys. Hello. Was having some technical difficulties a minute ago, trying to get everything set up and connected to Facebook or whatever. So hopefully it's working now. Yep, doing the stream by myself today. Nick is in India at the moment, and I just got to Chiang Mai a few days ago. So yeah, it's my first time doing a stream here. So hopefully everything works. Hopefully the internet is okay. Hopefully we don't have any uh, big problems or anything, right? Let me see if these lights, if I can get them on me a little bit better. Oh, it looks a little bit better maybe. But anyway, yeah, thanks for coming to the stream. It's going to be a little bit more difficult than usual as I'm just doing it by myself and I don't have Nick to bounce questions off of, but I'll try my best, right? And hopefully I can answer everything you guys throw at me. All right, yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of buffering going on the stream, so hopefully it's not lagging too bad. Like I said, it's my first time doing the stream here in Chiang Mai, so I'm not really sure how well the internet's going to end up working. So yeah, we'll see. All right, Kushagra, how you doing, man? I know you. Um, let's see what we got here. Hello, sir. How can we rank on near me search results? Thank you. So yeah, basically what you're talking about is called local SEO. Local SEO is where you are, yeah, you're trying to rank in a specific like area. For example, I'm in Chiang Mai. If I had a restaurant or something in Chiang Mai, I'd want that restaurant to show up near, so when people here would search for something, Google would show it to them, right? But for if I was in the United States, I wouldn't want that search to be shown to me because it just wouldn't make any sense. So yeah, this is local SEO. The main way you go about ranking for local SEO is you optimize your website for local SEO. Get your company's name, address, and phone number on your website. Maybe a Google Map embed. The big thing you want to do though is, well, of course, doing all your citations as well, local citations. It's a form of backlink, basically web directories about your business, which also include your name, address, and phone number. And then you'll want your Google My Business. I guess they call it a Google Business Profile now. And your Google Business Profile is something kind of separate that is on Google, and it's kind of like the little entity or the account or whatever you want to call it that lets you show up on Google Maps. And so Google Maps is the main way that these kind of like near me things happen because it knows your actual location, your address, and when the searcher triggers a local search, Google kind of knows what searches are local and which ones aren't. Then it'll show things that are close to them, right? And it used to be easier to rank, like for example, if you had a GMB in the middle of the city and you're trying to rank outside the city, it used to be easier to like make yours show up even though you're kind of farther away and not show the closer ones. But I think now, I'm not a local SEO expert to be completely honest. I haven't done local in a very long time, or maybe like 5, 6 years, something like that. Um, but yeah, it used to be easier to get the local your GBP to show up if you're farther away. But I think now Google's put a even heavier emphasis on locality or just how close you are. So it can be even harder for it to show up if you're not like super close to the location. But yeah, other than that, I don't even know if people are still doing near me searches, to be honest. Like, I don't know if you're supposed to optimize for it rather, because people probably still type near me, but I'm not sure if people actually optimize for it anymore. Like, if they put, like, for example, on your content, if you put like photographer near me, like actually on your website instead of, photographer in Chiang Mai. And if I had to guess, and this is just a guess, I'm not gonna BS you. I would say that what you should probably do is just optimize for the city or the location rather than trying to put like near me in your content. Or maybe you could put it like somewhere like, I'm near you in the city or whatever. But overall, I think, and again, just a guess, I think the near me stuff was something that was a lot more popular a little while back, kind of like a little bit of an outdated tactic. Whereas now Google's a little bit smarter about stuff. Um, so what I would do is just optimize for the location rather than trying to optimize for the keyword near me. Yeah, you might want to look up some local SEO people, or even ask the question in our Facebook group, SEO Roundtable, because, like I said, not a local expert, and maybe we got some people that are a lot smarter than me, and they can give you a better answer on that. Let's see what we got here. Hey David, what's up, man? We got another question over here on YouTube. Also got some questions in the Facebook group I need to answer. All right, I am new to SEO, so I wanted to know what are some ways to monetize a website. P.S. I know affiliate. Yeah, so affiliate's a lot of people's favorites. I'm guessing you're talking about just like monetizing a content-based website, and you actually don't have like an actual like business or whatever. So yeah, we just did we did a podcast last week, I think on Friday, with James Dooley. He's a pretty interesting guy. Definitely go check that out if you're interested in this. But he does local lead generation. So he makes local websites, but he actually doesn't have a local business. And then he gets leads from those websites and basically sells the leads to other people, or just gives them all the leads from the website, basically lets them rent the website out to. So basically, instead of having a local business, you just make local websites, and then you sell all the people that are coming to it want the service, you just give them to someone else. But that's kind of a less common way of making money, and a lot of people shy away from it because there's a lot of kind of these small details you have to take care of. But in general, when people are talking about local or monetizing websites, affiliate's a big one. Ads is the big one. But if you're doing ads now, definitely be a little bit more careful with how aggressive you're placing them. Because last Google helpful content update, there seems to be a lot of emphasis on very aggressive ads, and they'll give sites very hard slaps. Like if your ads are all it like within the content, it makes the content like hard to understand or confusing. Like if they can't tell if it's like an ad or part of the content or whatever, it's just too much. Or if on like mobile, for example, the ad is like popped up over content and making it hard for the user to actually like see information. But yeah, ads is still a really big thing. Ads and affiliate are the two biggest. You can also do stuff like e-commerce. You could do stuff like selling like digital products. For example, if you had like an ebook or a course or something, you could sell that. What am I missing here? E-com, affiliate, ads, digital products. I feel like I'm missing something big. I wish Nick was here right now so I had another person to bounce things off of. But I think those are the main ones as far as I can think of. But I'm not a real big ads person. I've always been I've liked affiliate a lot more than ads. I like digital products as well, courses, stuff like that. Yep. So hopefully that helps. Just working my way through your live stream backlog. Oh man, yeah, there'll be a lot of live streams there to go over, right? But I guess you don't have to go through all of them because SEO, I guess it doesn't, some stuff doesn't become outdated, but some stuff will. So, like always, guys, if you want to ask a question, just drop it in the chat. Doesn't matter if you think it's a beginner question or an advanced question. I will get to it. But right now, I'm going over to our Facebook group, SEO Roundtable, and there's a couple questions in here I wanted to get to. I also realized that today is Halloween. I didn't even realize it's Halloween. It's actually not Halloween here anymore. It's the 1st, but in the United States, it's still Halloween. So maybe it'll be a slow stream today. I'm not really sure. All right. Can you name all SEO stuff that doesn't work or actually doesn't do much or are overhyped the last years, or unnecessary SEO stuff that people shouldn't focus on or waste too much time on? Okay, so the big things that come to my mind on this are things like core web vitals and website speed. Um, I'm not saying to have a horrible website speed, but that's the whole thing. You just don't need to be, as long as you're not horrible, you're gonna be fine. As long as your core web vitals aren't horrible, you're gonna be fine. These things got super hyped up, and then, like always, with a lot of this stuff, it ends up just not really being a big deal at all, as long as you're not like really, really bad. Um, what else is a little bit too hyped? Um, I guess, some people might hate me for this, but AI content spam, I think, is a little, I think people are kind of starting to wake up to like what AI is at this point. But you can still like do these like black hat projects and stuff. But as far as if you're trying to make like websites that actually last, something you want to sell, something that's ranking stay around, definitely need to do a lot of work to the content rather than just having like the pure AI spam. What else? Unnecessary SEO stuff. So this isn't really something that's, I don't know if it's hyped or not, but I feel like a lot of people really try to focus too much on SEO tools like Surfer or like Pop for content optimization. I use Surfer. I always use it. I would never not use it. It's just so good for getting all these other keywords in and stuff like that. But I think people go too crazy on trying to get like this super perfect score. Um, and they think that if they get like a really good content score in Surfer, for example, like if they get like 100, that their content is going to beat someone who has, a 90 or a 70 or an 80, whatever. But in general, I just try to get this. I try to get Surfer like into the green. Like I don't, and once it's into the green, I just make sure I kind of hit all like the keywords at least once. Not maybe not all of them, but all the ones that I know are good or that I want to hit. And then after that, you don't need to focus on it that much. Just, make sure it's like kind of okay and in the green and you're going to be fine. A lot of people don't need, or not a lot of people, but listen to a cool, might have been a podcast with Brian Dean, who is Backlinko, and he was saying he doesn't even use tools like Surfer at all, which I thought was awesome. Like he just literally goes out and like tries to make good content. And if you go look at his websites, his content is really good and it ranks really well and it attracts tons of links and yeah, so Backlinko and that was new project, Exploding Topics have done very, very, very well. So um, just kind of proof that you don't have to optimize for this stuff super well and you can still do very well with it. Not to say that optimizing it well won't help you though. SEO is math to an extent, but I just think it might be a little bit overhyped where you can, if you just focus on creating like good content and creating good backlinks, in general, you're going to do very well. I don't think if there anything else. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there since I don't have Nick to bounce things off of and don't want to waste time just sitting here. So hopefully that helps. David says, I already learned a lot and fell down the SEO rabbit hole hard. Yeah, it's easy to fall down the SEO rabbit hole, right? There's just so much to learn. You can just keep learning forever. Um, but yeah, always remember to not just learn, but actually to put stuff into action. You'll learn a lot faster if you actually start doing stuff in WordPress and actually start like trying to rank stuff. Even if you make a lot of mistakes, you'll just learn so much faster rather than if you're just watching videos all the time. Not saying you're doing that, but just something to think of because I do the same stuff as well. I'll go through periods of learning where I focus way too much on like learning new stuff and I kind of just forget to do all the other stuff that actually gets you results rather than just learning all the time, right? All right, let's see what we got next. Might be a slow stream. Maybe Halloween was not the best time to have a stream, but we'll see. I'll keep answering these questions. If we run out, maybe I'll just take off early today. How can I build relevance on non-relevant sites if I want to build links from it? Is a relevant article per link enough to link from? Is relevant article per link enough to link from, or does it need more articles or some other stuff or what? So yeah, if you want to build, I'm kind of confused what you're talking about. It kind of sounds like you might be talking about like building a PBN site. But yeah, I'm not really sure if you're asking about PBNs or not. If you are asking about PBNs, you can repurpose a domain into a PBN site. You can make it relevant by just adding a bunch of content about that topic on it, right? So like maybe the website was like Joe's Plumbing or whatever. You got to try to find out like maybe some kind of like clever way to make it about whatever else they're trying to write about. But you can just start putting content on the website about other stuff and see what happens. And it does work, but in a perfect world, you'd want to have all the backlinks that are coming to the site and the domain and everything, all be kind of same and relevant for the whatever you're trying to, whatever niche you're in. But you can do it. And I've seen people, have, or we've actually done it as well, completely repurposed sites and just done something completely different with it. Um, I think the first example I ever saw of this was a long time ago in OMG Machines. Greg Mortensen, Greg Morrison, I can't remember how to say his last name, but um, who I ended up learning a lot of SEO from in the very beginning. And he repurposed this Irish bar. It was a website for an Irish bar or something. And he repurposed it about to be about like culture, Irish culture or something like that. But anyway, I thought it was really funny. And probably the first time I ever saw someone doing something like that. So you can definitely do it. But yeah, if you're talking about backlinks, for example, what I would try to do is you can even use ChatGPT for this. So let's say the website is about pets, right? So not really relevant for you, and you want to get a guest post on it, and your site is something about like technology or whatever. So, just pets and technology, definitely not the same thing. However, you can make something that's a mix of the two. So, you can use ChatGPT to help you brainstorm articles that are both about pets and about technology, right? So you can try to just kind of mix the two niches together to create some kind of article ideas where it would make sense to link to yourself. Um, I guess I'll also say that a lot of people, as far as like relevance goes, being relevant is always better than not being relevant. But, there are a bunch of like very general sites, and you can actually still get links naturally from websites that aren't like super relevant for you in the real world. It just happens, right? So, you know, I've even seen some other people talking about this recently. It's something we've been saying for a while, but I feel like some of like the bigger names, like for example, like Diggity is also starting to talk about this recently, where he's talking about how, relevance isn't like the end all be all. And we kind of think about it on this like sliding scale. If you go look up our article, like what makes a quality backlink, you can have like more like power, or you can have like, so for example, you can have a link that's not super relevant, but it still makes sense. You don't want it to be just complete like trash spam or whatever, but it could, not be from a super related website or whatever, more general, just or maybe even some about something completely else, but what for whatever reason makes sense in the article to link to you. You can have something like that that has like a lot of authority and a lot of power, and this can still be like super good for you, right? Versus then if you're a plumber and you're trying to get only links from other plumbing websites, that's just not how the real world works. So, you can get links from a wide variety of different kind of stuff. It just has to make sense of how it's happening in the article, right? Um, I kind of went on a tangent there. Hopefully I answered the question right. Um, yeah, go ahead and leave it there. Hopefully that helps. And like always, if you're building like a guest post on a site, just make sure like if you can, try to get the whole article about kind of your topic or a mix, like I said, and try to get like the keywords and like the title and stuff, the URL slug, stuff like that. All right, let's see what we got next. Mr. Epic. Like always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Also, join us in our Facebook group, SEO Roundtable. We're in there every day answering questions. And also, I guess today is 10:31, so there's actually not much time. But we have a PBN link sale going on right now, and it ends, I guess, in a couple hours. I guess about 4 hours. So if you're watching and you want some PBN links for another couple hours, you get 10% off if you use code PB10 on our website. All right. I want to ask some advice. One site of mine got indexed last 2 months, and I saw a ranking boost to 50 plus ranking. Then suddenly last month it disappeared in rankings, but still indexed. Why? So you actually see this happen a lot, where when you put a new website up or new content up, a lot of times Google will index it and rank it, and you'll just get this initial boost, and then Google's like, and then they just take it away. It's like kind of like they reevaluate you or reevaluate, yeah, your site or whatever, and they're like, it's kind of like when you meet someone and you go on like a first date or whatever, and you're like, oh my God, this person's amazing, and then like after a couple more dates, you're like, actually, yeah, I'm not really so sure about that. I don't really know how to explain it in Google or like technical terms or whatever. But I have seen it happen like quite a lot. Like it happens very often. Um, but yeah, it's a little hard to answer your question because we don't really know without looking at it what's going on here. Um, it could be that Google has thought your content was like unhelpful or something. It's still indexed, which is good. Like, but it's possible you got like an algorithmic slap. I don't know when the drops happened, but if they happened around like the last like core update or the last helpful content update, then those would obviously be things you want to look at. It's good that they're still indexed. It also depends like what keywords you were ranking for. A lot of times you'll see like new content rank for kind of junk keywords it wasn't supposed to even really rank for, and then Google kind of takes those keywords away. Um, yeah, really hard to tell, really hard to answer this without kind of seeing more about it. If you want, we can audit your website. I probably won't get to any audits today, and there is a wait list. But if you want us to audit your website to look at it on the live stream, you can kind of see, or you can email us at info@sterlingsalot.co, and we'll go ahead and take a look. And yeah, we don't like show your website or anything on stream. David says, is there a limit on 301s from expired domains to the homepage? Um, so, you know, best practice is not to do a ton of 301s. Um, Maybe a few years ago, I feel like it was easier to get away with doing a lot of like really crazy stuff with 301s, just like tons of them. But I've seen a lot of stuff in the past few years where websites even, traffic and rankings have been taken away from, before where they had all these 301s and they just took it all away. Not like a penalty, but it's kind of like they just like negated it or something. Um, and Basically, I think it's hard. Google kind of seemed to crack down on 301s a bit. But recently, I've seen other people talking about how they still like to spam stuff with 301s. Maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe I don't know 100% about this. But I would say that best practice is to try to use 301s very naturally. If this is the first time you're doing a 301, which it sounds like it might be, or maybe it's not, I would chill out with it. Like maybe one, maybe two. I don't think I'd really want to do more than one or two. Um, and what I would tell you to do is just try to think of things like how they would happen in the real world. Think about what Google is seeing when you 301 a website to your website. What Google is seeing is that your business has acquired another business and their website, and you are redirecting all of their website and everything is just pointing to yours. So you want to make this look very natural, right? And if you're just doing a ton of 301s and you're 301ing like random pages or whatever, I know you said homepage, but it can start to look very unnatural if you just got like all of these 301s and you're just pointing them at your site, right? It can start to look like something very black hat, right? Versus if you just have your one website and you get one really nice 301 and redirect it over, and maybe you do even a press release where you're saying, oh, we acquired this company, and you even put that information on your website. You can even 301 to that page, or you can do stuff like that to make it look like super natural without trying to run into any problems. So in general, I would say best practice is not to go crazy with it. I usually like to stick with like one. But you can do more than that. If you just think about it, it could be natural for a business to acquire more than one other business and to redirect it to their site, right? And there's nothing that Google can say that says that you can't do that. But in general, I would say best practice is to kind of chill out with it, try to make things look natural, try to get it super relevant, and don't go crazy. So maybe one, maybe two, and I would stop it at that if I were you. But yeah, hopefully that helps. You are welcome, Mr. Epic. Guys, got any questions? Go ahead and drop them in the chat. So I've only got a couple more questions here in the backlog, and if y'all aren't asking anything, I'll probably take off early today. Might be a slow stream with Halloween. All right. Have you tested how much aged or expired domains? Oh wow, it's like the same exact question. Anyway, I'll start over. Have you tested how much age/expired domains you can throw onto a domain so it doesn't look unnatural, and in what time period? What can you do to make it look more natural besides PR stuff? Actually, I just talked about this in the last question. I don't know if this is the same person asking the question, but yeah, you can just see the previous question. Let's see what we got here. David says, thanks. I got carried away a bit on GoDaddy auctions lately, and expired domains are 100% in the same niche. Yeah, so you don't have to use them for 301s. You could also make them into little PBN sites if you'd like. Um, Definitely another option for you, so you don't have to go crazy and just keep 301ing stuff, right? All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna take another one from our group. I want to make my website lean by dropping some pages that I think are not needed now. When I started a few years ago, I committed a rookie mistake of having a lot of services that I thought I'll offer, thinking that the business will grow and the pages will be helpful in gaining online visitors. Yeah, so if you're going to do content pruning, I know content pruning seems to be kind of like a hot topic right now. And I'm not going to say it's not good. It can be definitely be good, but I would also say be careful and not to go too crazy pruning content, right? Especially if you're getting like some traffic and rankings on stuff, you might be able to use it in a little bit of a different kind of way to try to actually take that traffic and funnel it to yourself. Um, so I have pages on the website that are about web design, development, SEO, digital marketing, content writing, even mobile app development. Okay, so that's kind of a little bit of a broad net, but there are companies that offer all this stuff. So um, fast forward a few years from now, I focus only on web design and Google Ads. All right. Let me get this off the screen. Question is, what should I do regarding the other pages that I no longer want to showcase on the site? SEO, mobile app, content writing. It is a WordPress site, so I can let these pages be marked private in the backend. But since I've built backlinks to such pages, should I 301 redirect them to the web design and digital marketing pages? What's the best way forward? So yeah, I would not so if you're going to delete the pages, I would not delete them, or I would not 301 them to something that's not relevant. So, if you're deleting a page about content writing, I would not want to 301 it to like your web design page. I'd most likely want to 301 them to your homepage, right? Um, and yeah, so like I was just talking about before, if you're gonna actually prune this content, take it off your website, it's definitely up to you. But I would look into it, just see how the content is performing. And if the content is performing well, it's actually getting some impressions and clicks, it might be worth it to just leave it on the website and then to try to funnel that traffic, um, via internal linking, via, buttons, whatever, on the pages to actually funnel them where you want them to go to other pages on your website. Um, so yeah, it's definitely going to be your call. Like I said before, I know a lot of people are into content printing these days, but the idea of like just taking this content off your site, it kind of scares me a little bit. I just don't know. I hate removing content unless I really feel like it's the right thing to do, right? So definitely look into it a bit before you just jump in and delete a bunch of stuff. But yeah, if you're going to throw one, just throw one to your homepage and not to something that's like not relevant. All right, looks like we got some more YouTube questions going on. Keep the questions coming, boys and girls. The longer you keep the questions coming, the longer I'll stay on, right? Do you disavow toxic links? So, Nick and I's stance on disavowing is that we do it as an absolute last resort. And if you're not like a super expert SEO, I would say you should probably think about everything. You really need to think about like everything else before you disavow, right? But you should also know that there's basically two trains of thoughts on this. A lot of people like disavowing. We talked to James Dooley last week on a podcast. He's actually the first person I've talked to in a while that's like really, really into disavowing. Um, and basically he knows this fellow Rick Lomas, who I don't actually know very well, but I know he's very well known for his disavowing. And James was saying he saw some pretty amazing results from stuff that Rick has done, right? Um, so I can't necessarily say that disavowing is a bad idea. I would say for most people, especially if you really, really, really are not an expert and don't know what you're looking at, you shouldn't do it yourself, because a lot of people end up disavowing stuff that actually helping them, or it just doesn't matter at all. Google's probably just ignoring it. But in general, Nick and I do not disavow links. I can't even think of the last time that we disavowed something. We actually got spammed on one of our websites with like really like ultra toxic stuff. It's like super toxic blog comments, really spammed out, like super spammed out pages. We're talking about like hundreds of links, maybe even thousands. And the anchor text they were using was gross. It was actually like almost like like pornographic. It was bad. It was like adult kind of like themed like anchor text, right? And they they ended up spamming one of our pages, and the rankings for that page went up. So um, what you have to understand is that Google's not perfect. Links, even if they are toxic, they can like increase like crawlability, just more stuff pointing at the page, right? And it doesn't always work out how you think it would. And so we stay away from disavowals. We do it as a very like last resort, like only if we've like tried everything else and we know for 100% that these links that are hitting the site are super toxic. And even more so, I would normally want those links to be built on purpose rather than just like spam. If it's just like normal like spam or like whatever hitting your website, even negative SEO, most of the time we just ignore it. Versus if someone went out and actually you built these links for yourself on purpose, and you're using all these like exact match anchors, and it was very, you're really trying to manipulate and do things on purpose, then I could see a disavow maybe being a bit more of an option. But anyway, yeah, we do it as a very last resort. I can't even think of the last time I disavowed. I really can't. I don't know how many years it's been, and it's just not something we do at all. But there are multiple camps to this, and so yeah. But in general, I don't think toxic links are 99% of people's problems. It's an easy thing that people like to think that's the problem, but usually the problem comes from something else, right? Maybe they just used over aggressive anchor text, or maybe their content sucks, maybe their interlinking sucks, maybe there's whatever. There's a million other things, and I would say that toxic links are usually not the issue. Let's see. Bloody noob here. PBNs would be my downfall. Yeah, we definitely recommend staying away from PBNs if you are new and you really don't know what you're doing, because they're definitely a riskier type of link, right? And speaking of PBN links, if you guys need some PBN links, our PBN links are on sale for another 3.5 hours, 10% off if you go to our website, sirlinksalot.co, and use code PB10. Let's see what we got here. Boris says, I optimized over 20 new domains in the last couple of years. Pretty common Google to make ranking very volatile during the first 4 to 6 months. Yeah, it can definitely be a little bit more volatile then. Especially if you're doing a backlink campaign at an early stage, so it's completely normal. Just be patient, keep following best practices, and ranking will stabilize. Yep. That's what we always tell people. Just keep moving forward, right? Just keep doing what you know is working, especially in the beginning. Boris actually makes a really good point here. Like in the beginning, things can go up, things go down. Your website can be ranking for stuff that's really not supposed to even rank for anyway. And Google can take this away. Once your website gets more established, your rankings aren't going to be that volatile. But especially in the very beginning, things can move like quite a lot. But the thing is, you probably don't have that much traffic. You probably have like 100 or less traffic, or maybe even 1,000 or less traffic. And so any kind of keyword moving around or bouncing around or whatever can look crazy on the graph, right? But if you just ignore all of that movement, especially in the beginning, because the graph will look crazy, but it's actually not that crazy. It's just a couple keywords moving around. Ignore that stuff, keep moving forward, keep doing quality content, keep building backlinks, and everything is just going to start going up, right? And this kind of volatility will not seem so drastic anymore. Question, is a Guardian or New York Times, etc. backlink good no matter the niche you're in? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't care what my website is, and if you're going to get a link for any of these websites, you should just be super pumped up, right? These links are great. These websites are called seed websites. Google really, 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 really trusts these websites. And so they pass a ton of trust to you, right? This is a question we were talking about before, and So, a lot of people have basically the wrong view of relevance. So let's say, for example, they get a link from a website and the website is general, meaning it posts about content about a lot of different stuff, technology, fitness, home and garden, politics, like literally everything. They're gonna be like, oh, this is crap. This website's not relevant. You are wrong. you know this basically, New York Times, The Guardian, all websites like this, CNN, these are Washington Post. All of these websites are super general, but you want backlinks from them. You don't want your entire backlink profile to be stuff like that, but links from these super powerful, authoritative, general websites can still be very, very good because Google trusts them, and so they are endorsing your website. They're passing trust on to you. So you have to kind of get rid of this really like focused level of relevance that a lot of people have, which is just incorrect. I can't remember who the first person I saw say this was, but I actually took it from someone. And they were saying that basically there's 4 levels of relevance. So you can have domain level relevance, which is like the entire website is about what your topic is. Like, so if you're a plumber, it'd be like getting a link from a plumbing website. That's domain level relevance. Like a plumbing website links to another plumbing website. But just think about the real world. If you have a plumbing business, are all the backlinks you get going to be from other plumbing websites? Why are only plumbing websites linking to a plumbing web? Like, what other plumber is going to link to? It just doesn't make sense like that. You're going to be linked from home websites, maybe just a mommy blog, general blogs. You're going to make sense from so many different types of things. So that's domain level relevance. Then you have article level relevance, which at sirlinksalot.co, my link building agency, this is what we really try to do for most of the links we build. We try to do article level relevance. It can be really hard if you're in like a weird niche and you're doing, like, for example, a link insertion, a niche edit, because you have a more like limited amount of things you can choose from versus a guest post where you can write the article about anything you want. But anyway, we always aim for article level relevance at the least, right? And then you could even do paragraph level relevance, which in the example of you being in a very tough niche and you getting link insertions, niche edits, you might need like article level relevance in an article, or sorry, paragraph level relevance in an article that's not super, super relevant, but maybe the paragraph is super relevant. And then you can even have sentence level relevance, where not the entire paragraph is not about your topic, but maybe just that one sentence is. And all of these things can occur naturally in the real world, meaning if it can occur naturally in the real world, then it can occur for your website and it can be beneficial to you. So, I know a lot of people like these like very like black and white answers, like, oh, it has to be exactly this or it's not good. But that's just not how SEO works. It's not how the real world works. And you have to have a little bit of a more like fluid kind of idea of things. And just think about, the one question you can always ask yourself is just, can this make sense in the real world? And if it can make sense in the real world, it's going to end up being doing some good for you, right? But I would say the thing you want to stay away from is like getting like only sentence level relevance or like only paragraph level relevance, right? You want to, when you think about what happens in the real world again, you'll understand that sentence or websites are not going to get only links from sentence level relevant stuff, right? So on that idea, you need to get kind of all the stuff, get domain relevance, get some article relevance, get some paragraph, get some sentence, whatever. It's just makes a well-rounded, diverse, natural link profile, which is a lot more kind of random feeling than what a lot of SEOs think, where they think every link needs to be from a domain that's super, super, super relevant. It's just not how the real world works, right? All right. Kind of rambled on that one for a long time, but as a link building agency, it is something we care about, or something that kind of bothers me, because you'll get people, of course, that will complain like, well, hey, my niche is auto parts for classic trucks, and this website is about like whatever, just like car, whatever. It's like it's just not close enough for them, and they feel very passionately about it, and we have to try to explain to them it's just yeah, not really how it works. All right. When you are in the first phase of your new site link building process, what would you usually build first and next? Yeah, so we've got like whole videos on this already. Definitely check our channel out because we've answered this question many, many, many times. We actually need to write an article on it. That'd be a good article to have just for how many times we've answered this question. That'd probably just be a good thing to rank for, right? But yeah, in the very beginning, we do a lot of foundational link building. So if you go to our website, sirlinksalot.co, that'd be like our pillow links packs, our diversity links packs, social profiles, citations. We don't sell Web 2.0s individually, but you can do like Web 2.0s. You can even do like press releases, stuff that you're basically just announcing this business opened or whatever, stuff like that. So it's all this like foundational type link building, right? And these are things that basically all of these types of links, except for press releases, basically anyone can go out and create these links. You can create press releases on your own too. And the thing is, they just take time, right? Which is why someone will usually come to an agency like us, because no one wants to go out and build, like 100 foundational links. It just takes so much time, and they're not like these really like heavy, like super powerful links, right? They're just kind of the stuff you need to do. But you can go and make them yourself for free, or you can pay for someone like us to do them like very cheap, right? So after you do some like foundational link building, and when you're doing your foundational link building, you're just going to link to your homepage only. You're going to use natural anchor text only, meaning branded anchors, URL anchors, generic anchors, maybe some kind of like long tail / topical anchors. I like doing a lot of like branded and URLs, especially in the beginning, and then doing some kind of like topical long tail stuff. But yeah, mainly branded and URL for the foundational stuff. And then after that, you can start doing stuff like niche edits and guest posts, basically editorial style links. And I'd probably still link to your homepage mainly in the beginning. Again, still using natural anchors. And then after your site starts to gain a little bit of traffic and you start ranking for some keywords and Google kind of starts to understand what your websites are out and everything's like indexed and everything, then you can start slowly linking to some like inner pages, right? Not just your homepage. You can start linking to some of your service pages or whatever. I don't know what kind of website you have, but maybe some of your money pages. But in general, we kind of like ramp up to this. We're in the very beginning, we're doing like a 100% homepage building. And then maybe as the site starts to gain some traffic, starts to go up, then maybe we're doing, 80% homepage building. And then it'll eventually get to the point where maybe we're even only doing like 50% homepage building, right? But then maybe some months we go back and maybe we'll do 80% homepage. Maybe another month we'll do even less, maybe even like 30% homepage. It just kind of depends. We kind of change things up. It's not like an exact formula or whatever. But in the beginning, generally a lot more homepage link building, natural anchors only, and then from there you can start slowly linking to inner pages and stuff after that. Just don't get super aggressive in the beginning. Take your time, focus on quality. Get your foundational links and then just focus on quality. You don't need to focus on like hitting this like a race. Basically, we're trying to get like an insane amount of like referring domains to try to catch up with your competitors as fast as possible. Just go slow, focus on quality, focus on being natural, and you're going to do pretty well. And if all this stuff is confusing for you, something you can also check out is our managed link building service at sirlinksalot.co. Managed link building is you basically just give us a monthly budget and we build what links we think your site needs the most based on our analysis of your website. So we actually look up your website in Ahrefs, see what links you have, see what your rankings look like, and be like, oh, he needs more foundational link building, he needs more homepage links, whatever, he needs more natural links. And we build, our team builds what they know your site needs versus you having to guess on everything, right? So if you're gonna buy backlinks and you're not really sure what you're doing, MLB can definitely be a great option for you. And another benefit to MLB is you can actually watch what we're doing, and you can see month by month how we're doing it. And we, in your monthly reports and stuff, we actually tell you like, what we did and why we did it. And you can actually like learn how to build links by like looking at our MLB reports, right? Because our team is explaining what we're doing, why we're doing it every step of the way. So definitely something you can check out as well. Yeah, hopefully that helps. For whatever reason, almost no one on Facebook today. All right. Speaking of keep building quality backlinks, where to start? So as far as quality backlinks, normally when someone is talking about quality backlinks, we are not talking about foundational backlinks. So foundational backlinks we also call pillow links. And these type of backlinks are quality, but it's just not generally what someone's talking about when they mention quality backlinks, because anyone can go make foundational links. Anyone can go and make these pillow links, right? It just takes time. Not to say they're not quality, but they don't do a ton for your rankings because they're kind of like user-generated content or whatever. It's just laying the foundation, right? So generally, quality backlinks would be like link insertions, aka niche edits, guest posting. You could do stuff like Haro, and you could do stuff like digital PR essentially, which is basically digital PR is almost like guest posting. It's just kind of like a really like high end, right? But a lot of digital PR, I think, is essentially a scam anyway, where people are like overcharging for just kind of like high authority guest posts. So be a little bit careful if you end up wanting to do some digital PR because they charge a lot for these links. We're talking like $1,000 a link. But good digital PR agencies can land you some like super high authority stuff, right? You know, we're talking like DR like 80, DR 90 stuff. When people talk about like getting like one of the previous questions, like New York Times, right? You're talking about like this level of stuff, right? Like very, very, very high level stuff. And of course, not most of the stuff they land you is not going to be like New York Times level, but in the ballpark. But yeah, in general, when we're talking about building quality links, we just mean, you're getting links on other people's websites. It's not a site that anyone can go and just put content on. They're actually writing articles and mentioning your brand or linking to your pages in their articles, right? Link insertions or niche edits, whatever you want to call them, are generally going to be a little bit less relevant because you're actually having to pick from existing content. So a lot of the times with these links, you can link to like hub pages or category pages or your home page. You can link to your like money pages as well. Just to kind of depends like how relevant you want it to be. And then, for example, for a guest post, you can get a lot more relevance with your guest post. But the articles are brand new, so they don't really have like that age, that trust that the link insertions do. But you get extra relevance because you can say, I want this article to be exactly about the best dog toys for, puppy chihuahuas. It can be like super, 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 super relevant, right? Because you're deciding what the article's about. Then you got like Haro, which Haro, a lot of backlinks end up being no follow, and they end up just going to like your homepage with kind of like branded anchors, or something like maybe like your name in them. A lot of Haro links end up not being like super relevant as well. But like mentioned before, you don't every link does not need to be from a hyper relevant domain. It can be a little bit, it can even be like unrelevant. So a lot of stuff like on Haro, like you might end up getting a link. So, let's say we were building Haro links for our SEO website. You might get a link from like a, I don't know, let's say like a business blog, right? Or even like a credit card blog. I know, I forget who it was. Someone got a link from like an American Express or something. And yeah, I'll take that link all day. That's a powerful link. Get a link from American Express to my SEO from my, sirlinksalot.co. It's a powerful link, but it's not relevant for SEO, right? But it's a Haro link, and we still like kind of this stuff as well. It's just not super relevant. And then yeah, your high-end PR stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at for high quality backlinks. Let's see what we got. I'm 4 months, or let's see. David says, I'm 4 months in, everything moves along fine, expired 301, small Google Ads campaign, just enjoying the ride. Nice, man, keep it going. It's cool that you're doing ads. A lot of people don't do ads in the beginning, but it's actually good to do ads, especially if you know what you're doing, just because you can get some traffic immediately while you're waiting on your SEO to kick in, right? I started an expired 301. That's good as well. A little bit of a jump start. All right, let's see what we got here. And guys, yeah, it looks like we're starting. Actually, we're running out of time. We almost made it to the full hour, and I've had questions the whole time. So stream had more questions than I thought there was going to be. But yeah, we are running out of time. So if you got any questions left, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Doesn't matter if you think it's an advanced question, beginner question, whatever. Just drop it in the chat, and we'll get to it. Question, does Google Analytics show all traffic? There is a wide gap between my hosting provider traffic stats and Google Analytics. Yes, I'm the wrong person to ask about this. I'm really not like an analytics expert or whatever. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to answer this. I'm sorry. I'm actually like really getting into Google Analytics is something that I know that I'm lacking, and I would like to, basically have like better analytics skills. It's something I want to get more into eventually. But as far as right now, it's just not something I focus too much on. All right. Like I said, guys, go ahead and ask any more questions you got. I'll see if I have anything else in the Facebook group I want to answer. And if no one asks any question in the next 20 seconds or so, I might just take off a few minutes early. See what we got here. Well, this is a good question because, yeah, everyone always asks about this. Hello everyone, I'm running AI websites which put out their content automatically. What do you say I should do to cover each aspect for the websites? For now, I am doing social media plus 2 niche forums for my author and editor of the blog. Any tips, guys? Basically, I need something that will do the job, not some super high level and it can be automated. I'm really good at automation. And I'll go ahead and paste my answer to it here and let you guys see that, and then talk about it a little bit. Let's get this on the screen for you. There we go. Yeah, so I said basically you just need to put out stuff on the internet about this person that's not just on your own sites. And so he had mentioned he was doing social media plus 2 niche forums for his author and editor. It's definitely a start, but the more you have on the internet about your author, the better, right? And Google does look at this. Some ways to do this are social profiles, which is what he had mentioned, social media stuff. But you actually want to be active on them. You actually want to like make it look like it's not just a fake profile that someone made with an AI image. And if you actually have a quality rater come in and look at stuff, they're going to be able to tell very easily like if it's just a fake profile, not a real person versus an actual person, right? I think it's going to get harder and harder to fake this stuff. I'm not saying don't try to fake it, especially if you're not in YMYL, but I think I get to that later on in the answer. Stuff like Reddit and Quora or other reference sites and forums. So yeah, you can get a Reddit account or a Quora account, and you can actually be active. So for example, if you're in the SEO niche, you could go into like an SEO subreddit with your name as your username and actually like commenting on stuff and like being active in the community, right? Or same with Quora, answering questions on Quora. Other sites and forums, he had mentioned he's using niche forums to do this. That's good as well. You can also make press releases with your name in them. And your press releases can then go and link to like your social profiles, which you say you've already made. It's a good way to kind of just tie everything together. Web 2.0s, this could be stuff like, you could do like the super like duper Web 2.0s, like, Blogger or whatever, or you could do stuff that's more like, what's it called, like Medium, right? Where you have like a Medium account and you're actually like posting like articles and stuff. So that can be a good way to get some stuff with your name, your author's name out there as well. Guest blogging. So yeah, you can actually do some guest blogging where they actually, so normally like when we sell backlinks on sterlingsalot.co, we don't want the author boxes on there. We don't want it to say it was written by you. We want to say it was written by the website and that they are talking about you in a good way, right? And they're linking to you naturally. But you could also do guest blogging where you actually use your name. You go to a website where they actually say this was written by you. And so you're not really doing it for the backlink, you're doing it to like put your name out there, right? So you have like your name and your picture on someone else's website saying you wrote this article for them. You can also, another cool one, which I haven't done, is you can make a faceless YouTube channel. So you could make like a YouTube channel with your name and just not have like your face in it. And you could like actually make videos where you're like talking over like whatever is on the screen. But yeah, that's more work. So, that sounds like a lot of stuff to prove like your author is a real person or whatever. But yeah, here, let me read the rest of my answer. To be honest, faking an author is not that easy, but if you're not in YMYL and you get hit by some of the above stuff, you should be good. It just really depends on how hard they check you out in conjunction with how many other corners you are cutting essentially, right? And also note this is just for the author part. You want to take care of your other EAT stuff as well. So, that means you still want stuff like, like all your privacy policy pages, all that affiliate disclosure, whatever, contact pages, your address, phone number, all that stuff that proves you're like a real business and stuff on your website. You still want this. You still want to, of course, have like backlink authority come in, people endorsing your website saying that you're trustworthy as part of EAT as well, or so they say. What else? When you're writing your content, you want to demonstrate your expertise or your experience, right? You want to write from a firsthand point of view. It's like if you're doing some kind of product reviews, like, hey, this is what I really liked about it when I did this, this happened, I didn't like it, versus just like saying the specs of the stuff, right? They actually want to see people actually have experience, firsthand experience with this stuff, and they want to see you demonstrate your expertise and your experience when you're writing your articles. So this is all part of EAT. It's not just making these fake author profiles, even though it's kind of what the person was asking about. So you definitely want to do all that other stuff as well. Let's see what we got else here. And I'm actually going to go on a little bit of a not an EAT push, but I just noticed recently that I have my own knowledge panel. I'll show you guys this real quick. So, if you actually type in my name, Google actually kind of like knows who I am, right? And I have a knowledge panel now. So I'm gonna start doing some kind of more stuff to just kind of flesh out my knowledge panel a little bit more for Google. And this kind of stuff can be kind of hard to get, especially if you have like a common name, right? Because then there'll be a bunch of other people you're competing with the same name. But I have a very like unique name, and that's actually my real name, by the way. It's not a fake name. Just that you say my last name, Gigis. It's a Greek name. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of start doing some of the stuff I was just talking about to just have more stuff on the internet about my name or whatever. Just kind of fill up my knowledge panel more and just kind of build my own expertise or whatever in Google's eyes, just as a little kind of side project type thing. So we got any questions here before we take off? So we got some more questions rolling in. Let's see. Learn to write here. Boris says, yes, there might be a gap as new Google Analytics underreporting on sessions traffic. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people are having problems with the new analytics, right? David says, happy Halloween. Yeah, happy Halloween, man. I completely forgot it was Halloween when I started the stream. It's not Halloween right now in Thailand. I'm in Chiang Mai now, but it is Halloween in America still. David says, keep up the educational work and being awesome. Hey, man, glad you're getting some value out of it. I'll answer this question very quickly. What's your take on AI-generated content from Google's perspective and AI-generated content checkers? Are you using them? Nope, we don't use checkers at all. AI-generated content, I love it. You just have to edit it a lot. You need to edit, you take out the redundancies. Actually, I'll just show you this little post I made in the group. I think it was even yesterday I just made this post. It's actually a summary of a YouTube video that we put out last week. So you can also look at that video for a bit of a longer answer. So yeah, this is a post. If you're not in our Facebook group, definitely join the group. We're in there every day posting stuff like this and answering questions. So SEO Roundtable on Facebook. So basically, AI content is fine. You just have to edit it a lot. And here's what I said. Avoid relying solely on AI for content outlines. So it's better to do your own AI, your own content outline, because the AI outlines suck. They really do. They don't cover the topic fully. They're just not good. AI tends to repeat itself a lot, so edit out the redundancy. So you want to go in the article and just delete all the crap. AI puts in a lot of the stuff that doesn't need to be said, and it repeats itself a lot too. So cut all that shit out. Add a lot of personal touch, contribute unique insights, demonstrate your expertise. This is what we were just talking about for EEAT, right? So actually demonstrate your firsthand experience with stuff, demonstrate your expertise. Why should people listen to you, right? Don't just regurgitate stuff that you can find on any website anywhere, or from like someone's like the product page about whatever you're reviewing or something, right? If you're doing an affiliate review article. So you actually need, an AI doesn't do this. You could probably prompt it correctly so that it does, but from what I've seen so far, it just hasn't been good enough. So this is something you're really gonna have to focus on with human content or human editing. You use unique images, can add videos too. This is something I saw that the quality raters actually really care about. They really like these like unique images. They don't have to be like good images too. Like you don't need to be a professional photographer, but if they can tell it's actually like unique images, they really like it because like, hey, this is actually unique. It's not just some, it's not some stock image that they bought from whatever Shutterstock or whatever. So yeah, using images, you can use AI to make images, but they'll know it's AI if it's actual quality rater looking at your site. So there's other stuff you can do as well. Maybe you can put in videos, you can take screenshots, whatever. A bunch of different ways you can do that. I have another post about that somewhere else as well. Don't get caught up in percentages of AI human content. Focus on quality and keeping your traffic engaged. Because, a lot of people will ask, well, how much do I need to edit? And we used to say, like maybe 50-50 is the ballpark. It's going to be 50% AI, 50% human. But don't worry about the percentages. Just focus on doing all this other stuff and making the content good, and you're going to be fine. Use tools like Surfer or Pop to optimize it. So yeah, always want to do something like that. Prioritize topic coverage, interlinking, and added value. Yep. So yeah, I love AI content. I love using AI for content. It's so good for brainstorming and stuff. It just really helps everything like flow along and stuff. But we do not use it as like copying and pasting like full articles. We don't do like any AI kind of spam stuff. Not saying that I don't like that stuff. It's just it's not how we pursue business on the internet. We're kind of not doing this like spam projects. But for example, someone like Julian Goldie's got a bunch of like cool like AI spam projects going on. So you can definitely check out his YouTube channel if that's something you're interested in. But I'm just more interested on these kind of like projects that will last for a long time, a website that I could sell for a lot of money versus creating these like websites where you're just posting a bunch of spam and hoping to make some money real quick before Google catches your website and penalizes it. But yeah, as far as AI generated content checkers go, we don't use them at all. I'm not going to mention any names or whatever, but a lot of these the AI checkers have affiliate programs, which is why I think a lot of people are promoting them because they can make money for promoting them. But even in Google's own documentation, they actually removed anything that says anything about AI content. They just want the content to be good. So if you follow their helpful content kind of guidelines, if you follow this stuff, it doesn't matter how much your content is written by AI. It just needs to have all the other stuff we've been talking about, right? All right. So what else we got here? Maybe one more question, or maybe not. I've been getting mixed results. Some pages with AI content not being indexed for ages, but on other websites, AI content performs perfectly fine. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the screen, talk about it. I've been getting mixed results. Some pages with AI content not being indexed for ages, but on other websites, AI content performs perfectly fine. Yeah, so especially if you're doing like just straight up like copying and pasting AI and you're really not putting any kind of work into it, and a lot of times just no like unique images or anything. A lot of the stuff, I've even seen it like not being indexed on like good sites, right? Google seems to be able to kind of like know that the content just sucks. And so it can be very like hit or miss, right? I think the guy's name was Riz Mo, but he was one of the first people who became like kind of like popular because they did this huge like AI spam site and it had like millions of traffic and they made a lot of money off it in a short amount of time. But what they were doing is they were starting websites on expired domains. Then the domains weren't even really very relevant. I think they were also 301ing expired domains as well. And then just doing these huge AI spam sites where they were posting content about like everything. And I think he was saying the success rate was like one website out of 5 would actually work. So yeah, that can kind of give you an idea of how this stuff might work if you're just trying to do AI kind of content spam. But yeah, if you are really into the AI content spam stuff, we're probably not the best source of information on this. It's not something we mess with too much. Like I talked about in the other question, we're focusing more on quality and like building long-term projects that you could eventually sell for a high multiple rather than something you're trying to basically kind of like a bottom feeder, like scrape some money from ads as fast as you can, and then before your website gets penalized. It's just not really something we're interested in. I mean, I'm interested in it, but I'm not doing it. I do think it's fun to like pay attention to. So I watch like Julian Goldie's channel a lot because I think he's got some cool stuff. Um, all right. David says, have a good one. Catch you guys next time. Yes, sir. Let's see if we have any other questions. All right. We're going to go ahead and end it there, guys. I am in Chiang Mai, Thailand right now. If you are going to be in Chiang Mai, Thailand for the conference, I think it starts next week. I don't even know when it starts. um, yeah, I think it's next week the conference starts. If you're going to be in Chiang Mai for Chiang Mai SEO, let me know. Send me a message on Facebook or whatever. Let's try to meet up, or you can just come say hello if you see me walking around. But I'll be out there. I don't know how many of the talks I'm actually going to go to. It depends on like hangovers, I guess. But I'm real excited for all the parties and just talking to a bunch of people. It's pretty much what me and Nick are coming to the conference for. But I'll try to catch some of the talks as well. Um, Also, like always, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. We've got our PBN sale going on, which I've mentioned a couple times right now, 10% off our PBN links, but it's only for another, looks like 3 hours. So you can use code PB10 if you want some PBN links, 10% off our completely redone PBN service. We added a bunch of cool new features, or I don't know if you call it features, but our PBN service is way better than it was before, and we're really happy about it. What else I got to talk about? Oh, we're gonna have a big Black Friday sale this in November, of course. So I think there'll be no discount for November. There'll be no sale, but at the end of the month, we don't have the dates lined up yet, but it'll probably be like 25% off everything. What we're thinking. So that'll be cool. Great chance to gobble up some backlinks on the cheap. What else we got? We did a podcast with James Dooley recently. He was an awesome guy to talk to. Excited about meeting him out here as well. He knows so much about rank and rent, just does a completely different kind of thing than most SEOs do. So really cool guy to talk to. Got his own testing and stuff set up as well. So cool guy. Go check out that podcast. And yeah, can't really think of anything else. I'll go ahead and stop it there. But yeah, thanks guys, and I'll see you. Actually, might not see you next week because of the conference, but we'll see. No promises. All right.